Very good evening to everyone. We are here with yet another session. Today we are here with Niharika. She have completed masters in psychology and then she did diploma certification in art therapy, and she is pursuing a professional diploma in counseling and psychotherapy. She also have a hobby of artist. She is artist, and she have realized that these effect of painting have an therapeutic benefits of art after studying her bachelor's or diploma in psychology. So with this small introduction, with this small the therapeutic input we are going to have today's session, I welcome you, Niharika, on our platform on your growth. Thank you so much to share your time with all of us.
Thank you so much, Bhavit, and thank you, On Your Growth, for doing such a wonderful job. Bringing people to share their knowledge and helping out the community there to understand these different fields and opportunities better. Thank you so much. So I'll start by talking a little about myself. So I am Niharika Dadu. I did my bachelor's and master's in psychology, and then I did a diploma certification in art therapy. And since then, I've been exploring the field of expressive arts. I've been a part of a few mental health startups and communities. I work with NGOs. So I am pretty intrigued by the whole process of how art works and how I began art therapy basically. So since childhood, I've always been into art and painting and drawing, but I didn't know what art therapy was back then. I just knew the benefits and how it was helping me. And it was very late, like when I started studying psychology, did I realize that there is actually a specialized field for this. So now I probably understand better how art therapy has its own benefits and is therapeutic. Back then I did not know. So that's how I moved into art therapy. And I'm still exploring the field. There is so much to learn. There is so much practical experience that is required. So I'm working on it. And so I'll share my screen for a little PPT to help all of you understand better what art therapy is, what is expressive arts. Okay, so basically, art therapy is just a modality under expressive arts. Expressive arts therapy is a whole gamut of terms, which includes, art therapy, drama, visual arts, music, gardening, collaging, writing, journaling, sculpting. So expressive arts is an integration of all these modules, whereas art therapy is just one part of this. So I'm more inclined towards art therapy, but it's widely used. Music, gardening, all these are also widely used. In fact, now we have separate associations and courses for music therapy, for dance therapy. So what is basically art therapy? Art therapy is a blended field of therapeutic practice. It combines the knowledge of both art and, based on psychological frameworks, it creates a creative process using some tools and techniques, but basically based on theoretical frameworks of psychology. It is used to support individuals, help them express their emotions, create awareness in them, and help in and enable and equip them to solve their conflicts and traumas. So these are just a few images of how people enjoy the whole process. Basically, art therapy is a process. It's not more so about the outcome, it's about the process of enjoying. So if you go back to your childhood, just imagine, when you were 2 years, 3 years old, you were never concerned about the outcome of what you will create. Whenever you got crayons or clay or sand around, we would just start playing. So the process is the main is what is required. It's not the goal that is important in art therapy. The process is the goal in art therapy. So the term art therapy was coined by a British artist, Adrian Hill, in 1942. Whereas Margaret Naumburg is actually considered as the mother of art therapy. She used a lot of techniques, and she actually came up with the field in such a huge movement that people recognize art therapy so widely. So if we understand art therapy, there are two aspects to it. One is art as therapy, and the second is art as psychotherapy. So art as therapy is all about the process, like I just mentioned, the process of creating. So, just imagine, for example, if somebody likes music, when we're listening to music, we're in that zone, then we forget about everything else. Or if, when you look at a child, a 5-year-old child who's playing with clay, they're so happy creating whatever they're creating. They're not bothered about the outcome, will it look good or will it not? So art therapy is all about the process. Art is psychotherapy. So it's basically used as a therapeutic tool to build a relation between the therapist and the client. It is also used in clinical and non-clinical settings, in hospitals, in cancer hospitals, with children, with pediatric departments, so it's widely used these days, and it helps in building a rapport with the therapist. Though we require art therapy widely, but it is still not practiced widely, especially in India. Countries like Canada, Australia, and USA are a little ahead of us here, and they have proper licensing bodies and proper courses there. But it is coming up in India also. So applications of art therapy. It helps us in improving our cognition, sensory motor functions. It helps in building an emotional resilience, fosters self-awareness. We feel a sense of confidence and achievement when we've created something that belongs to us, something that is so original that it is created with our own hands. And it is a myth. So I would like to break a myth. When people say I can't draw, I'm not good at drawing. So can I seek art therapy? Or therapist saying, I'm not an artist, so how can I give art therapy? That is just a myth. You don't need to be an artist for anything for becoming an art therapist or being a client. It's all about the process. Just like I mentioned, it's about the process that is involved in the creation of the product, not the outcome of the product. So the difference between art therapy and art class, this is very important to understand, because a lot of people confuse with what art therapy is. Is it the same as an art class? What are we doing? How is it different? So basically, art therapy is facilitated by a trained art therapist. So it's important to be trained. So there are a lot of training associations which train you. Not everybody can practice as an art therapist. So you need some sort of training and licensing to practice as an art therapist, which I will come to later. And in a classroom, what happens is a teacher only instructs you to make something. So art therapy involves a relationship, a therapeutic relationship, whereas in a class, we just have a student-teacher relationship. And art therapy is a very confidential space, where you're free to express whatever you feel. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is evaluating what you're creating. Your product is not being judged. But whereas in an art class, there's like a certain sense of competition, where you have to create something good, where you're going to be marked on what you create. And art supplies are considered as tools for self-expression, whereas in art class, it is just a task to complete a drawing. And in art therapy, there is nothing wrong or right. So, you have to just enjoy the whole process of creation. Or, for example, movement. When you're dancing, it's not about finally what outcome it comes. It's about the whole process of moving your body, where your mind and body are in sync. You feel energized. Or, when you look back, there are some certain songs, which bring so many memories back to us. So, how we connect to these modalities is what helps us in building our own selves. Just a few examples of how it helps. It helps in, there are some tests and tools that are designed which help in early diagnosis and can aid in clinical conditions. For example, there are tools like Person in the Rain test, which help us in identifying cognitive distortions like, black or white thinking, or all or none phenomena, or, do you personalize, do you magnify or minimize? So house tree person test, which helps us in identifying if there was any trauma, the relationship with the family. So what happens is sometimes people are not able to express, especially children, when they are not able to express, art therapy acts as a beautiful tool. People who cannot, speak, have language difficulties, people who are suffered from some injury, then it's very difficult to express in terms of words. And that is where art therapy comes into play. You're able to express what you're feeling, and you put everything, whatever is going on in your mind, onto that piece of paper, and you yourself are surprised, what the outcome comes. It's actually amazing. Again, it can help in self-awareness, self-esteem, and building your self-efficacy. So it works on the principle of brain plasticity. When you're creating something, you're building new associations. You're breaking down the older associations and you're building new associations of art, and you're relating to the whole process of enjoying the calm, the relief from stress that you're experiencing in that whole process. So just imagine, for example, whenever I used to paint, more than the outcome, I used to love the whole process, where the table used to be messy, where my hands used to be all painted and my clothes were all spoiled. So that is also a process that we all enjoy. It was never about the outcome. It was about the whole process of creating something which belongs to me. And there are some studies also that have been done. It's being widely researched, how listening to Mozart can help lower the BP, and how, decoding music's effect on brain networks. So a lot of research is being done on how, music is being used. Music is being widely used, and there are colleges which provide music therapy trainings to how, certain sounds, certain rhythms actually activate the mind and help relieve stress. So a very famous song like the song Weightless, which was given by Marconi Union, it results in 65% reduction in participants' overall anxiety and 35% reduction in their usual physiological resting rates. So this is such a starking figure. Just imagine when you're feeling stressed and you don't know what to do. In the middle of the night, you don't know where to go. Though therapy is very essential, and therapy is a must if you're feeling any sort of conditions. In fact, therapy is for everybody. To enhance your own self, therapy is for everybody. But just imagine these tools which are available freely can aid your therapeutic process and help you keep your mental health in check. What are the healing benefits of art therapy? It is a great stress reliever. It takes you into a different zone. It is very therapeutic. It refreshes the brain, improves concentration, sparks creativity. So it's such an unconscious process that all your feelings and emotions come out, and it is a journey of growth and inner strength. And these days, specialized further in art therapy, music therapy, there are further specialized sub branches also. So, there are sub branches like color therapy. People these days are training in color therapy, how certain colors evoke certain emotions, how red evokes danger, a feeling of danger and fear, or how, blue can be informative, how, so a lot of studies are being done on how colors can now be integrated into understanding what we're feeling, how we're experiencing emotions. And it's called chromotherapy, and mandala art is being used widely. Patients who have anxiety or stress, they're given a lot of these techniques to relax, calm down, again, like mandala therapy is actively being used. And I would also like to talk about some organizations, how do you become an art therapist. So for example, in India currently there are not a lot of licensing bodies or training bodies. There are a few like the UNESCO Fortis CID program, or a one-year PG diploma by St. Xavier's College. But other than that, there are not many institutes that are offering art therapy. So currently, people take up these one-year diplomas or certifications and practice here. But otherwise, in Canada, in Australia, there are proper licensing bodies, and people are required to do at least their master's level of education to call themselves an art therapist, and then they have to do supervised training, conduct field work, and that is how they become art therapists. So that's a brief of art therapy, expressive arts therapy. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead.
So thank you so much, because it brings a lot of information within just 15 minutes of duration. So my first question would be, what are the difficulties as an art therapist you have been seeing in the Indian society? If you have a new patient, what are the difficulties you face, and what are the ways to reach an outcome that and to reach a solution?
Okay. So difficulties faced is one, since it's not, there is no licensing body. So sometimes people all misinterpret it, or, people don't use it appropriately, the tools and techniques that are to be used. And people don't come up also, since it's not widely known, people don't seek art therapy that often. People do go to psychologists, or, their teachers, they will just go to their teachers, but they don't know about the existence of art therapy so much. So I think more awareness would be one, and incorporating it into schools. For example, there should be art therapists in school who are constantly in touch with students, and also psychology students, they should be taught some form of art therapy in their bachelor's or master's, so they're also better equipped to use these art therapy techniques in their practice.
This is required to, as an integrated approach. Nowadays, a government is also focusing on integrated approach or integrated medicine. So in that, one component of art therapy would be of major role to bring a change in the patients who are suffering from mental illness.
Yes, in fact, it will also aid, it is absolutely mandatory to seek help of a psychiatrist. If you're facing any severe mental conditions, it is absolutely necessary to go to psychiatrist and seek help. There is no other alternative to that. But these processes can be conducted simultaneously. When a psychiatrist is actually giving you treatment and you're on medicine, these processes will further enhance your well-being and they will reduce the relapse rate. So, they will quicken your healing with medicine, with therapy. This can be an additional element which can be used. Also, one thing, art therapy also helps break barrier. Sometimes when we don't understand ourselves so well, or we're not able to accept our own selves or what has happened to us, if we've gone through something. So art therapy also brings that acceptance, because there is no judgment. And something you've been suppressing for so long, it actually comes out from the unconscious to the conscious in form of whatever you create. Yeah.
Thank you so much. One more question is there, like as an art therapist, which is the best art to be focused on a patient, or depends on patient that therapy will change or how it works?
So what happens basically is it's very subjective. It's very, very subjective of, what client you have, what stage of what type of mental illness they're experiencing. Are there children? What sort of a population do you have? For example, with children, it is seen that it works very well, especially play therapy, stand therapy. These kind of modules work very, very well with children, because children understand these things better. And they're genuinely creative and they're fun loving, so they like all these elements better. You can't force children to come sit and then you're just talking to them. They wouldn't relate to you so well. But if you give them colors, if you give them sand, they'll connect with you better. Also, it depends on the age. Like I mentioned, children, for example, with older people who are experiencing like maybe dementia or Parkinson's, then maybe some form of movement can also be incorporated, so to help their movements. Or music therapy then can be used with them. So it's very subjective. And no one test or no one module or no one activity can be applied to all. You have to customize it according to the client who's coming to you. What is his need? What is his or her needs? Are they receptive to it? Sometimes the client doesn't want to do. You suggest something, but the client is not willing to do it. So you have to be very flexible with your clients, and you have to help them in such a way that they're also able to accept the activity. And not just clients. Why clients? Art therapy is for everyone. It should be like taught in schools, where people are able to understand their own feelings, their own emotions and thoughts better. And it's been studied that it works very well with disorders like schizophrenia, eating disorders, anxiety, depression, all sorts of disorders. It aids the process of therapy and medicine. It further enhances well-being, and it reduces the treatment time sometimes when the cases are not severe also.
I would request you to give some guidance if any student who is interested in this field with their masters in psychology or in this field of psychology, they want to pursue something in India. What are the guidelines and what are the ways they can approach to reach and to learn a professional art therapist?
Yes, thank you for the question. That's very necessary. So, though a psychology background is not mandatory, but it always helps, because it helps build a psychological and a theoretical framework. So, after masters, St. Xavier's offers a one-year PG diploma in Mumbai. That's a very, very good course, and that covers a lot of modules like dance therapy. It has visual arts, and it gives you rigorous training. So there is supervision as well as field work. So that is a one-year long diploma, which is a very, very good option. Then there is a UNESCO CID program that is run in collaboration with the Fortis Hospital. Again, that is an expressive arts therapy course. It's for around 1 month, and they extensively train you in the campus itself, where you get a certificate from UNESCO CID. That's a international body. So that's also an amazing opportunity. Other than that, there are some organizations that do offer you certification courses. But again, it's better and important to actually do a master's. If you actually want to be trained and practice with clinical populations, then a master's is necessary, which is available in a lot of countries like USA, Canada, Australia. They also have their own licensing bodies, and they have their own organizations which certify you. They give you supervised training and field work. So in India, currently, there are not licensing bodies, but there are organizations like SIMTI, that's known for that's a Dance Therapy Association. So you can take their training courses, or there is East West Counseling Center in Chennai. So you can take training from there. That's also like a 1-year long program where you're trained in different modalities like psychodrama, dance therapy, drama therapy, play therapy. Other than these 2-3 institutes, I think there are a lot of certification courses available, but that they will only help you to understand what the field is about. If you're really passionate about it, if you want to build a career and a future in this, then it's important to do a master's, and then you can obviously go on to doing a PhD, research, postdoc after that also. But a master's in art therapy would be the best option if you really want to practice.
Thank you so much, Niharika. It means a lot to cover from the starting of what is art and how it is helping. What are the correlational factors with the therapy, counselor, psychologist, and the psychiatrist? Because that mean that a change should be there to complete a therapy or to reach a best approach or integrated approach to a patient. So I thankful for your wonderful thought to bring out in this session. Thank you so much, Niharika, to join our platform.
Thank you so much, Bhavit. I'm very happy to be associated with Own Your Growth. They're doing wonderful job, spreading information, spreading knowledge, and reaching out to students and people who need all this information, which is available but not widely known. So great job to you guys, and I'm available if anybody wants to contact further for any details or wants any help in understanding the field better, to know more about the courses. So my name is Niharika Dadu. You can reach out to me through LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. I'll be more than happy to help, and I'll look forward to associating with Own Your Growth more. Best of
Thank you
luck.
so much. Thank you.